The Sergeant at Arms will please secure the chamber doors. Members, please take your seats. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Mr. President.
All right, Senators. This morning we are very pleased to be joined by Rabbi Ari Goldstein of the Temple Beth Shalom of Arnold, Maryland, guest of the distinguished senator from the 33rd District. Members, please rise for the invocation.
Our God and God of all humanity, we ask your blessings for our state, for its government, for its leaders and advisors, and for all who exercise just and rightful authority. Imbue our leaders with insight into your highest hopes for us, that they may serve as beacons to all who administer the affairs of this great state, so that the words of the prophet Amos will ring true in our ears when he said, "Let justice well up as waters and righteousness as a mighty stream." And grant also health of body and strength of mind to all who gather within these hallowed walls, that each person brings the best they have to offer and a true reflection of those they represent, and not a mere portion. And of course, help us to be mindful of the fact that prayer points in two ways. It's a reaching outward and a searching inward at the very same time, so that we know that in order to make great steps forward for the state of Maryland and its people, we must strive to connect with your higher values, all the while connecting ourselves to that special connection. In Hebrew, we say, Adonai oz le'amo yitain, Adonai yivarech et amo v'shalom, words from the Psalms. In English, they mean, may you, O God, grant strength unto your people, and may you bless your people with peace. Amen. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Chair recognizes the senator from the 33rd District.
Thank you, Mr. President, and thank you, Rabbi, for being here with us this morning. I welcome you today to the Senate. Rabbi Goldstein serves as the rabbi at Temple Beth Shalom, where my daughter attends preschool, and my older daughter also attended. I wanted to invite the rabbi here today because he is such a joy, both to his congregation as well as the preschool. In fact, several months ago, when I was dropping off my daughter for her first day of preschool, I was very nervous because I didn't know how she was going to be. I was pulling into the carpool line, and the rabbi was outside with his guitar, spreading music, spreading joy to all of the nervous parents dropping off for school. So this mom thanks you both for your attendance here today, for your prayer. I also wanted to welcome, just for a matter of efficiency's sake, a congregant of Temple Beth Shalom. Dana Schalheim is with us today up in the gallery. Ms. Schalheim also serves on the Anne Arundel County Board of Education, and I just wanted to welcome her as well. And I would ask that the prayer be journalized.
Wonderful. Well, welcome, welcome. Thank you for joining us. And thank you, Senator. We'll most certainly journalize the wonderful remarks this morning, and thank the guitar playing soothing that happens. It's certainly matters. Chair recognizes the senator from the capital city.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. So I share the good rabbi with my colleague from District 33, and I actually taught his daughter at Towson University a few years back. He's, in addition to being a great community leader, he's raising two fantastic daughters who are interested in public service. And I will also mention he is the rabbi and faith leader for many of my constituents and folks who work in this building, including the Senate's very own alumni, Jake Wiseman. So thank you for all your leadership in our community and to our constituents.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you, Senator, for that reflection. All right. Let's go ahead. Has everyone recorded their presence in the chamber? If so, the clerk will take the call. With 43 members in the chamber and a quorum being present, the Senate of Maryland is now in session. We'll have to see when we get to 47. It's going to be a little while till we get to 47 after. It's a slow start to a new term. Yeah. All the various changes. All right. Any introductions today? Introductions. I don't have a lot of work today, so we're gonna drag it out a bit. No, I'm just kidding. No introductions at all? Not one? Are we sure? Oh, there we go. Okay, yes. Senator from District 11. I think we know what introduction this is going to be.
I honestly have nothing to do with this, although I am very proud to announce the doctor of the day today is Dr. Jack Gordon. He is a familiar face to many of us. He loves spending time with us here in Annapolis, and he is a wonderful constituent, a retired orthopedic surgeon in District 11. So welcome, Dr. Gordon.
Thank you so much, Senator. Great to see you again, Dr. Gordon. Yes, Chair recognizes Minority Whip.
I was just informed that I have one of my new intern from my office is here in the gallery. We thought we'd bring him over right away, get him acclimated.
Wonderful.
His name is Matthew Bollinger. He's from Towson University. He'll be joining our office. So,
in the back here. Welcome, welcome. Thank you for joining us. Chair recognizes Senator from Montgomery County.
Yeah, I know the obsession with District 11 and doctors. I will make this point. In the last term, at least, Gene Ransom from MedCod did advise me that District 15 was home to more doctors than any legislative district in the state of Maryland. For the record, I just wanted to make that point. Thank you, Mr. President.
Senator, what do they have against the General Assembly? They don't want to come and be the doctor of the day? You know, all right, very good. Any other introductions or business to work through? All right, without objection, so be considered the reading of the journal from the prior legislative day. We do have a tiny bit of work. We have an introduction of a bill. This is calendar number 6. Clerk will read the bill.
Senate Bill 154, Senator Vital, Public Health, Mental Health, Advanced Directive Awareness, and Statewide Database Finance.
All right. The next are going to be messages to and from the Senate. So this is a message from the House to the Senate. The clerk will read the message.
By the Majority Leader, ladies and gentlemen of the Senate, we propose with your concurrence a joint session of the General Assembly on January 18th, 2023 at 9:30 a.m. for the purpose of witnessing the opening of the certified election returns by the Speaker for the offices of Governor and Lieutenant Governor. We have appointed delegates Bartlett and Rose to escort your honorable body to the House chamber for the joint session. By order, Sylvia Seeger, Chief Clerk.
All right, message having been read is adopted, is journalized. The senators, that was 9:30. However, that's 9:30 for the joint meeting, so we will start at 9:15, 9:15 tomorrow. And remember, traffic is going to be brutal tomorrow, so nice and early. 9:15 is where we are in the Senate, and we'll adjourn over there. So we'll go ahead and tell the House that we will show up for their party. Clerk will read the message to the House.
By the Majority Leader, ladies and gentlemen of the House of Delegates, we have received your message proposing a joint session of the General Assembly in the House chamber on Wednesday, January 18th, 2023 at 9:30 a.m. for the purpose of witnessing the opening of the certified election returns by the Speaker for the offices of the Governor and Lieutenant Governor. We respectfully concur in your message. By order, Nicole Alexander, Secretary.
Message having been read is journalized. We now have a message to the House of Delegates. Clerk will read the message.
By the Majority Leader, ladies and gentlemen of the House of Delegates, we respectfully invite your honorable body to be present in the Senate chamber at 11:30 a.m. on Wednesday, January 18th, 2023, to participate with us in the inauguration of the Governor-elect, the Honorable Wes Moore, and the Lieutenant Governor-elect, the Honorable Aruna Miller, as well as to witness the administration of the oath of office to them by the Chief Judge of the Supreme Court of Maryland in compliance with the requirements of the Constitution and the laws of the state. We have appointed on the part of the Senate a committee consisting of Senators Benson and Jennings, who will wait upon your honorable body at 11:30 and conduct you to the Senate chamber, where members of the House will remain standing while the Governor-elect and the Lieutenant Governor will take oath of office. We propose also, with your concurrence, the appointment of a committee of 8, 4 on the part of the House and 4 on the part of the Senate, to escort the Governor-elect and the Lieutenant Governor-elect to the House chamber for the purpose of being sworn in by the Chief Judge of the Supreme Court of Maryland. After the administration of the oath, the committee will escort the Governor to the executive offices. The committee will, at 12:30, escort the Governor to the northwest portico of the State House, where his inaugural address will be delivered. We have appointed on the part of the Senator for this committee, Senators King and Hershey to escort the Governor, and the Senators Hayes and Reedy to escort the Lieutenant Governor. By order, Nicole Alexander, Secretary.
All right, message having been read is adopted.
Mr. President?
Yes, Chair recognizes Senator from Baltimore County.
Thank you. Point of clarification, I thought I heard her read that the oath is going to be taken in the House chamber. I thought it was going to be taken in the Senate chamber. I was listening to the reading.
Thank you for listening, Senator. That is, no, truly. Thank you. Let's see. It's certainly in the Senate chamber. That is for sure. The certification will be in the House chamber. They'll then recess back over here, and at 11:57, we will kick off the swearing in the Senate chamber. Thank you, Senator. Do we say, is it in here? Yes, it is. Okay, great. Excellent. Okay, oh, all set. All right, perfect. Thank you, Senator, for catching that for us. Details matter. All right, we do have a message to the Senate from the House. Clerk will read the message.
Ladies and gentlemen of the Senate, we have received and accepted your invitation to attend the inaugural ceremonies in the Senate chamber on Wednesday, January 18th, 2023 at 11:30 a.m. We concur with your message for the appointment of a committee of 8, 4 on the part of the House and 4 on the part of the Senate to escort the governor-elect and the lieutenant governor-elect to the Senate chamber to witness the administration of the oath of office, and at 12:30 p.m. to the northwest portico of the State House, where his inaugural address will be delivered. We have appointed on the part of the House delegates Buckle and Corman to escort the governor-elect, and delegates J. Lewis and Pippi to escort the lieutenant governor-elect. By order, Sylvia Siegert, Chief Clerk.
All right, message having been read is ordered journalized. All right, so the desk is clear. However, we have a special moment today. It's one of our members' last days in the Senate, which is sort of a remarkable and hard to believe occurrence, but a very exciting transition. As many of you all know, if you'll beg the chairs, if you'll forgive the chair for or allow the waiving of the rule, would like to honor today, this afternoon, or this morning, Senator Susan Lee, who has been this body's majority whip for the entire tenure, the 4 years now and 2 years prior, and has just been an incredible member of this Senate chamber. Many of you all have worked with Senator Lee on many different areas. I think, without a doubt, I would imagine some of her most successful accomplishments, as if she were to relay them, have to do with her work on ghost guns, something that we're all sort of struggling with across the state. Reducing human trafficking, and then the difficulty that has been trying to make sure that people are not exploited in the state of Maryland. Fighting for equal pay for equal work, and of course protecting every consumer. These are things that Susan Lee has been champion of for her time in the House and the Senate, and has just been an incredible legislator, dedicated her entire time of service. I will say I'm extremely, while she will be leaving our chamber, I am pleased to note that she will be not very far away, and will be continuing a lot of the protection work, be it with domestic abuse victims, making sure that our consumers are protected with copyright law, serving as the state's chief diplomat, as the Secretary of State. We could not think of a more qualified and exceptional individual to join the administration tomorrow. And just as a small point of history, and the reason that it was clear that it had to happen so quickly, when I was looking at pictures of the last swearing in of Governor Hogan from 2015, on the dais was Secretary Wobensmith. And so it was very clear that in order for the governor to be sworn in, the governor must have a Secretary of State present in the room at that time in the Senate. And so hence the reason today is Senator Lee's last day. And so on her final day, I would ask her to please, if she could join us up on the rostrum and just give us a few parting remarks, and just we want to thank her for her service.
Thank you, colleagues. Thank you, Mr. President. It's been a great honor to serve in this. It's been my greatest honor and privilege to serve in the Maryland State Senate and with you, because you are some of the most best and brightest in our state, and you are dedicated to public service, which is the highest calling. So I'm leaving with heavy heart, but I'm excited about this new role, and I thank Governor-elect Wes Moore for having the faith in me to appoint me as the next Secretary of State. Mr. President, colleagues, I just want to say thank you for everything and being with me every step of the way. I'd like to especially thank your extraordinary leadership and guiding us through something like COVID, which was one of the most scariest, darkest periods in the history of our country and in Maryland. It almost paralyzed and shut down our entire country. But you got us through this dark period, and you help us pass laws to get money and funding, provide the critical relief to ensure that every family, all individuals in our state were able to be protected and get through life. Can we give our president a hand, please? And I can't go without thanking your extraordinary leadership team, especially Sally Robb and Joy Walker and all their team. Can you give them a hand too? They are, my gosh, they blow me away. They are some of the best and brightest, and they're experts in every single field. They know more than we do, right? And you chose what I call an all-star dream team. And I'd like to thank also these individuals here who have gotten us through every single session. I hope you still love us after every single session. And also the wonderful legislative services team who have worked under intense pressure and crazy deadlines, but got us through too. And I hope I'm not missing anyone. I'm sorry for using notes because I don't want to forget anybody. And also our President Pro Tem and our Majority Leader, who is a great friend of mine too. We knew each other through many different battles. And also the new Majority Whip, whoever is that going to be, and all the chairs and vice chairs of our committees for your extraordinary service, and also our Minority Leader and our Minority Whip. Thank you. Thank you for working with me too and putting up with me, especially with my bills too. I really appreciate. And also my Chief of Staff, Michael Laurie, who's in the gallery right now, and Legislative Director Stacy Volodin, and particularly all the advocates who've always come down to Annapolis to work and help us pass the good bills. They've sacrificed their time too, and I'm grateful to them for helping us. And together we have worked side by side on the Senate floor in hearings and sometimes past the midnight hour to get the important bills passed. Mr. President, can I have permission to use the senator's name? I'd like to particularly thank my JPR chairman, Will Smith, and my vice chairman, Jeffrey Wallstreicher, and all my JPR colleagues for putting up with me, but also laboring all night and day on important bills that are very heart-wrenching, but emotionally charged, but are important and change people's lives. And those who escape JPR too, who are working in other committees. I think I see Senator Edelman over there rejoicing, but I know she will be extraordinary in her new role in her new committee, because everywhere she goes, she has really done an excellent job. And I can't, and Senator Signor, my goodness, you are the moral compass of our legislature, and thank you for what you do. I can't thank everyone because I'll be here all day. And Senator Carter, thank you for your courage. I don't think she's here right now, but she is really courageous, and you know that too. And I just want to say too, you are some of the most dedicated and talented individuals, and I'm lucky to have worked with you, and I'm proud of all the work that we've done together, because we are really one of the best legislatures in the nation. And I'm not saying that because I like you. We really are. We are terrific, and you've helped pass laws to uplift women, children, families, and the President has already mentioned some of the bills I worked on, so I'm not going to bore you with it. But I'm really glad to have passed things like in consumer protection, cybersecurity, equal pay for equal work, helping victims of human trafficking, things like that, like the True Freedom Act. And for the advocates, wherever you are, thank you. You never gave up, and you helped us pass the bills. But I don't want to talk too long, because that's what legislators do, and I don't want to be one of those stereotypical legislators who hog the podium. But you spent time away from your family, friends, during times when you would want to be together for family celebrations, but it's because of your dedication to public service and because you want to do the people's work, so I applaud you for that. I think that you've also let us, we are a legislature that respects differences and values diversity and allows us to debate our different viewpoints and consider that. And I think we have been an exemplar of a legislature that is a true exercise in democracy. So I thank you for that. And you've propelled our state forward, making sure that no one falls through the cracks. So I've been really happy and honored to be in this journey with you over 2 decades. It's been 2 decades, wow. But I want to thank you too for working to achieve our highest values and principles to fulfill the promise of Maryland and America. And so with heavy heart, but great excitement, I'm still going to be here, okay? So I'm not going anywhere. You didn't get rid of me yet, okay? As Secretary of State, I want to work very closely with you because a lot of your priorities might affect the Secretary of State's office. So again, thank you from the bottom of my heart for the privilege and honor of working with you and serving Maryland as your senator and as your colleague. Thank you so much.
It's a pleasure. Chair recognizes the chair of the Judicial Proceedings Committee.
Thank you, Mr. President, and I'll let her take her seat, but I'll use senator. I won't ask to use her name because she's still a senator now, and you'll always be a senator, though you'll be going on. It's a little bit of a heavy heart because you've been an invaluable member in the Judicial Proceedings Committee and as a member of this body, not only across the hall, but here in the Senate. And so we'll really miss your presence. And as was mentioned before, Mr. President, no one in the Maryland General Assembly has had a greater impact on human trafficking, cybersecurity, gun safety laws, civil rights in the Maryland General Assembly. And you've made an indelible impression and impact on the state of Maryland, and you will truly be missed in this capacity, although you'll just be serving us as the Maryland Secretary of State. I'll say this. I was talking to some of your district mates about you, and they were talking about not only how you're a masterful legislator. I did some counting, and you've passed more bills than anyone else in the Montgomery County delegation, save for Jamie Raskin, Congressman Raskin, but also dedication to constituents. I was talking to your district mates, and when you go out in the community, she not only knows every person in the room, but she knows the name of their dog. And so it's that attention to detail and that connection, that visceral connection to your community, you've really been able to keep tabs on everything going on in your district. So just I want to say from the bottom of my heart and from on behalf of a grateful committee and legislature and Senate that thank you. Job well done. Thank you for your service, and we'll miss you.
Excellent. All right. Any further remarks before we adjourn?
Mr.
Yes,
President,
Chair.
I forgot to acknowledge the great contributions that our state troopers have made in
Of course, yes,
Can we
thank you.
give them a hand, please?
Please,
Thank you.
yes, thank you. Appropriate, too, for tomorrow because there is a lot of security. There's been a lot of navigating all of the secure aspects of tomorrow's operations. And our troopers, our Sergeant at Arms and state troopers are phenomenal resource. Yes, Chair recognizes Senator from District 6.
If this is proper, could we make sure that we record the statement of words that she gave?
Wonderful.
Kindly.
Yeah,
Thank you.
most certainly. Thank you, Senator. We will certainly journalize the remarks by the Senator from Montgomery County. Thank you. All right. Any further? Yes, Chair recognizes the Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. President. I just have to add my 2 cents about the good senator from District 16. I don't think there's a person in this room that has worked as hard as Susan has for women's issues. She's been a very valuable part of the Women's Caucus, and I just look at all your accomplishments, and that's just something that when we get elected, we all want to achieve what you've achieved. So you will be greatly missed, but we will be looking forward to seeing you here anyway.
Wonderful. Thank you, Senator. Thank you. All right. Any further additions before we adjourn for the day? If not, Chair recognizes the. Let's do a quorum call before we adjourn.
Mr. President.
All right. Has everyone recorded their presence? It appears so. Clerk will take the call. With 44 members in the chamber and a quorum being present, the Senate of Maryland remains in session. We will adjourn today. Just as a note for Thursday, we will come in at 11 on Thursday. So a little bit of extra time. But for tomorrow, Chair recognizes the Majority Leader.
Yes, Mr. President, and just a confirmation, we start at 9:15 promptly.
9:15.
I think we would be suggesting that people get here a little bit beforehand, so we are ready to start at exactly 9:15 to stick with the program.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Without objection. Oh, we did not do committee announcements, did we? There is an objection from our committee chairs who the chair was moving too quickly. Let's do committee announcements before we adjourn. Chair recognizes the Chair of Finance.
Thank you, Mr. President. Senate Finance Committee will meet at 1 p.m. today. We'll have overviews of alcoholic beverage regulation, medical cannabis implementation in the committee room, 1 p.m.
Wonderful. Thank you. Chair of Education, Energy, and the Environment.
Thank you, Mr. President. We will have a briefing today at 1 o'clock on affordable housing issues. And then for those of you who want a refresher on our floor system, how to access testimony and all the like, for you and or your staff, we're going to have a training session demonstration from OIS at 3:30, Mr. President.
Wonderful. Thank you, Senator. Chair recognizes the Chair of Budget and Tax.
Budget and Tax will not meet today.
All right. Chair of Judicial Proceedings.
Thank you, Mr. President. The Judicial Proceedings Committee will meet today at 1 o'clock for a two-part briefing, one on the Bruin decision, concealed carry, and then the other is on gun trafficking and gun violence.
Excellent. Thank you, Senator. Any further announcements, delegations, subcommittees? It appears not. Senators, for those who have transitioned to the Senate this year, we are locking down all of those last-minute pieces, IDs and phones. We will have a schedule, and hopefully everything is done this week, that there are no outstanding issues. So please stay in touch with us as we're working through all of the transition issues. All right, we've done the quorum call. Let's go back to the majority leader for an unobjected motion maybe this time.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have been informed that we will now be meeting tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Everyone's supposed to be here in the chambers at 9 a.m.
Wonderful. All right. Without objection, 9 a.m. it is. See you all tomorrow. Have a safe day.